Hey y'all, welcome back to Muddy Paws Disc Golf. This time around we played Brantwood Disc Golf Course in Elkton, Maryland. Brantwood is on an old golf course, but it's actually converted quite interestingly, and it's not just a bunch of open field. Hole 1, 619 feet, par 4. Your first shot's just going to be up this fairway. I clipped a tree slightly early, but, it got out there. Matt's going to throw an Avenger SS here on a roller.
We don't know. We're hoping so.
That went underwhelmingly.
Dad is also going to opt for the roller here. Move over, Dad.
Well,
I mean it. Matt's second shot here.
Redirected by the tree in the right direction. Kind trees.
And I'm going to throw mine just over the crest of the hill. Dad's going to go forehand here. Didn't get exactly where he wanted, and he's going to be shooting his third shot right at the cup. Matt with his third shot here.
oh,
and
Matt.
I don't know what happened there. I don't think he knows what happened there either. Here's my third shot.
Nice.
And Matt with a long attempt here. Can't sink. So he'll start out with a bogey. I'll start out with a par. And Dad will start out with a par as well. Hole 2, 449 feet, par 3. You just got to avoid this water hazard. And you know what? You're pretty good if you do. But it can get tough. It's pretty much right in the center. So it makes what you're shooting for a lot smaller. Dad with a pretty nice shot there. Matt with his second shot here.
Nice shot.
And I did not land really where I wanted to. I was so worried about getting over the water. It just didn't land it really all that close.
Get it. Ooh, long putt.
But I was able to come back and make the putt, so I'll sink a par. Matt's going to take another bogey, off to a tough start, and Dad will take a par. Hole 3, 410 feet, par 3. And this alleyway is a lot skinnier than it looks on camera. It's actually pretty tough.
Watch it.
And Matt gets off in that rough. Not where you want to be. Dad fights through those trees. Oh. And Dad's just going to toss up here. Nice and conservative.
Good shot.
And hit it off the bottom rung. Sink one. Matt and Dad both missing their putts. Hole 4 is 514 feet, and it's a par 4. Matt's going to throw out into the center here. Dad'll get a little bit of S-curve there and end up on the left side of the fairway.
Nose up. Good.
Dad's upshot gets knocked down real early. He'll try to throw a skip shot. It's just not working out for him. And he'll lay. a little jump run, just sit it in close. Matt tosses around that tree. So Dad will take a bogey, and me and Matt will both take pars.
Yeah.
Hole 5 is 214 feet. Just throw it down this alleyway. I tried to throw a thumber, bad decision. This hole should be really easy, honestly, if you're playing the pro tees. For some reason, we just couldn't really keep it in the center. So we had a lot of trouble here. I think it was just visually striking. But I, just decided to try and lay it close there, nothing crazy. Dad does the same. Matt's going to try and give this a little run, but it's going to end up just flopping there. So we'll all take pars on this one. Hole 6 is 494 feet, par 3. So yeah, just chuck it. I throw my TL3 here. Just a nice safe shot. I didn't want to risk anything getting in the bushes or grounding. Matt here, there's an absolute bomb with a Star Destroyer. We ranged it well over 400 feet. It was a little hard. There was no good marks, but everything we were saying was well over that 400 mark, so that was a real bomb for Matt. And Dad's is going to fade out slightly, but not a bad spot to be. And mine kind of held that angle. At least will give me a look.
Get through it. Yeah. Nice shot, Dad. Oh, early release.
And Matt just launched it over the basket. I'm able to sink mine. Dad and Matt will tap in, so Matt will take a bogey there. Hole 7, 542 feet, and it is a par 4. It's pretty much just right up this fairway, and then you're going to go to the right, and the basket's right there. It's just out over this sweeping fairway. Matt there throws a beauty of a shot. And I'll throw a buzz into the gap, but it got knocked down. Dad'll take a lay here. Give a little jump run attempt.
Good putt.
And Matt will shoot in for a birdie. So hole 8 is 702 feet, and this was the first instance of a mixture of not knowing the course and poor signage kind of got us in trouble. We ended up shooting kind of towards the wrong basket off our first shots. Luckily we weren't that far off, so we were able to recover, but it definitely did affect our scores here. But honestly, the course was packed, and we didn't want to have to worry about going back to the beginning of the hole.
No, I got through.
So unluckily for me there, I tried a crazy line that was pointed at the original basket. But right around here, we all figured out where we were supposed to be going.
It's out of the gunk.
But not knowing where we were going will become a recurring theme. You'll see it a couple more times in this video. Matt here uses that power to get out where you need to be. Dad's going to clip those branches, but he'll be around that group of trees that I'm stuck behind. So I just threw a pretty overstable disc. Just tried to get it back out to the center, basically cut my losses here. Dad not happy with that one. So we ended up actually losing Matt's upshot here. But it was pretty standard, what you'd expect. My upshot here, I immediately knew it was trash. I threw it on an angle. One thing I've worked on since filming this video was simply my angle control. You know, watching that made me cringe a little bit. So Matt's gonna miss, I'm gonna miss, not happy about it. And Dad will tap in. So I'll take a double, and Matt and Dad will take bogeys.
Oh my God.
Well, Matt missed on purpose, but hole 9 is 233 feet. It's another breather hole, but the wind was getting a little crazy by this point, and it was starting to get tough even on these holes. So just straight through those group of trees. This is one you should be birdieing. Like I said, the wind was getting pretty crazy for us, and you know, we're not that reliable when it comes to birdies. So most of us here just played the safer route and just tried to throw it at the trees and hope.
Nose up. Yeah.
Matt'll lay up. Dad's run will come up a little short. I missed my first putt of the day, so there goes my luck streak. And we'll all pretty much tap in
It's a little
for
bit
threes.
windy.
Hole 10
Abby, it's windy.
is 602 feet, par 4. And now the wind was blowing. We took a little break, and when we started back up, the wind was going crazy. And this is really where you're going to see the round just start to get out of hand. Dad here pretty much switched his driver setup to pretty much mainly using a catapult, which is a super overstable driver from West Side. That'll just should tell you how the weather was kind of affecting us. I'm throwing a pretty much brand new compass there. Still slightly overstable for me. Matt with a real pretty second shot. And it'll leave me with a scary putt, but not too awful. And that's very unfortunate for Matt.
Good shot.
Dad will take a 5.
Alright, pull them both.
Matt will take a 5. I'll take a 4. Hole 11, 347 feet. Want this one to go right. Dad flipped it over a little. But as long as you're down in the neighborhood, you're not too bad.
Nice approach.
So I threw a Seppo, PA1, Seppu, sorry, PA1 there. Just overstable putter. And we'll all putt in there. We missed a couple shots there, sorry about that. But we all ended up with 3s. Hole 12, this was another one where we got confused. We threw at the wrong basket. It's over there on the left side of the trees.
Good job.
685 feet. We were throwing dead straight ahead, which was not our basket. So that's why we kind of ended up out in the middle of this field, which really messed us up, or at least not all of us. Some of us had issues though. Yeah. Here you can see that kind of left me in a bad spot. Like I said, we were gridlocked between groups pretty much the whole game, so it was pretty tough for us to go back and retry the hole if we did get off track. So we kind of just played our lies, even though we did get pretty lost at some point.
Doing a little tree trimming.
So Dad made it over that other field and shot up. Matt giving this a little bit of a look, falls short. And I'm going to miss. So I'll end up taking a bogey here. The other 2 will take pars.
No, he said
Hole
stable.
13
He was wrong.
is another par 4.
No.
This one we knew where it was. It was just tough. I mean, we were going straight into the wind. As you can see there, they were just dying,
Really,
falling out of the sky. And you know, that kind of forced us into throwing it differently, which is good. It's good to learn that. But it can be really tough when you're so used to controlling your shots one way. But yeah, I think roller was the play here. I just didn't trust my roller enough. Matt with a pretty nice up. Mine got way up in the air here. Yeah, just a little bit of a misjudge. You know, just personal error, not a strategy thing. Matt there putting a real rip on it for where the basket is.
Roll back.
A really nice rollout. And Dad, not looking so close.
Oh.
So he'll try to lay up. Didn't really work out. And Dad misses. I completely biffed my putt. This is just where it started falling apart. I got pretty mad. So Matt took a par there, and we took bogeys. Hole 14 is 382 feet. Finally, a drive that I wasn't embarrassed of. You know, this is part of what we do, is that sometimes we don't have the greatest rounds, and we show it regardless. So, obviously, this became a pretty tough round for us. We started missing easy putts.
Stay up.
Around 13.
Yeah, testa.
But you know, just happens sometimes. That's how it goes. Threw it real low there, just tried to skip it in. Dad trying to put it way up, knowing it was going to drop out of the sky. Matt does the same, but could not sink it. But I'll be able to make
You just throw mine in.
we're dead.
Not going for it.
Hole 16 here, 353 with a little bit of a water hazard. Obviously, with the way the round had been going, and we had already been here for about 4 hours filming, we decided not to try and go over. All three of us pretty much threw really overstable discs and tried to get over to the left so that we wouldn't have to mess with the water at all. This didn't really end up working. We all ended up either under that tree and having to shoot over, or Dad's case landed basically at the base of the water and shot right over with a mid-range. So you hear him make a comment here about how understable it is. He had never thrown this disc, and he was fearful he was going to lose it, so he didn't really know what it did.
Looks pretty
so me
good.
and Matt here, sitting under this tree. Matt made it over, sat it right next to the basket.
Oh, it's over.
Yeah.
The whole course.
Mine fades out a little,
Good.
but I just really didn't want to risk getting near it. And Dad cages out. I'll miss. We all biffed it.
Win now.
So we all took fours.
You throw mine in.
Triple bogeys there. Yep. And now we
Come throw yours in.
16, which is 353 feet. Pretty straightforward. This is kind of your final easy hole before the last two, which are pretty tough ones to finish on. Obviously, if you've ever played this course, you know 17 is kind of the one that this place is known for. But if you haven't played this course, we'll keep it as a surprise. Matt here, getting up pretty close.
Nosed up like me.
Mine just got way
nosed
up
it
in the air again. I think I was getting tired. I think it was just throwing me off. Dad'll lay up.
Get it. Oh!
And that would have been a really cool one to make. Just didn't get any good ones. I made a lot of my consistent shots, which I'm more than happy about. That would have been a good one. So Dad'll tap in for a 3. I'll get a 3 as well. Matt'll tap for a 3. So pars all around on 16.
Drives.
Now we head into 17, which is 1,031 feet, par 5. This is a monster. It's very intimidating to look at. It's just dead fairway all the way there. So, at least there's no trees. Really. But it's still pretty crazy. So the first shot here is just get it in the fairway as far as you can and don't do anything crazy and end up off the fairway. So we all tried to play it kind of safe here.
Looking good.
So
Curl
I threw
back.
an annex here, or an onyx, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but just put a little bit of S-curve on it, and it ended up close to where I wanted. And Dad is somehow going to end up in the trees.
Oh, that's going to make filming a pain in the butt.
Matt is going to kind of over-adjust from what Dad did, but he'll stay safe. And this is where it kind of went wrong for me. Threw an overstable disc again, got high again, and faded out too far to the left. Should have thrown something a little more neutral and just laid it in the middle. Dad's going to try and get out of trouble there. Works out okay for him.
That's straight in the weeds.
Matt with his third shot up there.
Abby, stop. Abby, look at me. Stop eating grass. Stop it. You're going to throw up.
Dad putting some angle on it. And it'll roll out, and he's pretty much playing from bogey from that position. And Mac was a little long.
Stop laughing, you fuck.
And once again, one of those right out of the hand I knew wasn't going to be great. And I laid and played for the bogey. Dad gave it a run, didn't fall. Matt sunk it, so Matt will take a par, and me and Dad will both take bogeys. Hole 18, home stretch, 430 feet, par 3. You play the fairway here, and you just try to get around that weird mass of,
we're just falling.
Weeds, I guess, is the right word for it.
And start fading.
Dad takes an interesting angle here.
Good.
And this was a real scary one. It faded out just before that tree. But kind of best case scenario there. Matt gets himself in a little bit of trouble there. So we'll see.
No, that's good. Turn now.
We all thought Dad had a look at it from there. Didn't work out. Matt with a runner.
Oh,
just missed. Dad taps in for a par. Matt'll tap in for a bogue. And I'll make my par putt. So we ended off at me at +6, Matt at +7, and Dad at +7. So what do I think of Brantwood Disc Golf Course? Well, I think it has great potential to be an awesome course. Obviously, needs tee pads and signage and some sort of thing to know what basket is for what tee. There were no hole numbers on the baskets, which is a pretty easy thing to do. But that's not to knock this course. I think it's got a lot of potential. If you love open courses, you're going to love this course. I'd put it up there with West Winds. I mean, it's very similar in the sense that, it's on an old golf course, and it definitely uses that to its advantage. And I think we'll be seeing some big names playing this course in the near future. This has been Muddy Paws Disc Golf, and we'll see you next time.